Hey guys, welcome back to probably the last modeling video, and we're going to be adding some final touches. By final touches I mean like tertiary details, like these kind of small ones, and we're just going to walk around the mesh and simply see where we could add some more cluster of details to bring some more interest to the model. For example, we could put some details on these tiny elements here on the rotors. Now you may be wondering why there are no blades here. Well, they're gonna be like kind of like a fusion engine or some kind of an energy field engine that's gonna be generating kind of like a field here that's gonna be allowing this bot to float. So we don't need blades inside here, and I think it just looks a bit more clean. Very cool. By the way, we need some kind of some kind of elements here. So first of all, this fin here in the back looks a bit sad, yeah? Now the tricky part here is that we had this element here, which I really like. And if I'm gonna create another like that, it's gonna look goofy. So we need to create something maybe going this direction. This kind of a thing would work, but the top fin is not supposed to move. So maybe we could use, these elements for it. So Shift D, P, and selection. So they're going to be laying flat on our geo. We're going to grab them to local, remove the sub D because we don't need it, and we have solidification going on here, which is fine. But the solidification needs to go the other way, so it needs to go upwards. That's the first thing, right? We need some bevel on that thing, so here we're going to add a bevel. Bevel needs to go above weighted normals. Needs to have 3 segments and has to be less insane. Okay, cool. Then we going to probably apply this solidification, so let's just apply that. And let's go to edit mode and Alt Control click these and Shift Alt Control click these, which will select all these vertical loops around the mesh. So now here in this state, let's select everything as X and scale it in. I'm doing this in edit mode, so I don't have to apply scale again, because when you resize something in edit mode, scale doesn't matter, it stays the same. Press hover over here and press L to select just this one, GY, and move it to the back. Okay, and I can see that actually it's a bit higher than this one, right? Because when I'm going to move this one here, right, it's going to sink in, you see. We could actually move it up a bit, so GZ, and kind of move it up a bit, and this move it down a bit, so GZ, and move it down a bit. Okay, so they're even. Let's apply scale, and then let's go to edit mode. Let's go to local, and Control Alt click and Shift Control Alt click here. Control B that with 4 segments, and Bob Jankel. And at the end, what we need to do is add weighted normals and enable auto smooth. Boom, saw it. We could select this one, for example, Shift S into geometry, so the origin is going to move. Shift S, move the cursor to selected. Okay, and we're going to add a cube and go to orthographic top view and go here, scale it down, S, Y, scale it down on Y, move it in here, and G, move it in here like that, and boom, like this. Control A, apply scale, Control Alt click, boom, add a bevel and a weighted normals. So we go to the bevel, small one, and arc, right click, shade smooth, and we need weighted normals as well, so weighted normals, and boom. And then we can duplicate it, so Alt D, Y, and move it in here. And we could drop it down. Then we could mirror both, so we could mirror them across, right? So add the mirror. Where's mirror? Here. And make sure the mirror is above weighted normals. And we're going to mirror this across this fin here too. And a mirror. Move it above weighted normals and across the fin. Cool. Now let's grab these and shift DY and move them in here. And, you know, drop them here like that. Drop this one in here. And GX. And GX. Actually, here is fine. And make them a bit smaller, you know. Just a bit smaller. Select both and make them smaller. There. These kind of details are gonna, you know, add a lot of kind of interest to your mesh. I'm not sure I like it though, it's a bit busy. Maybe I'm just gonna remove that. Or maybe only 2. Let's see that. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, it was just too much. Sometimes too much is not good, okay? You need to, you know, you need to always watch your mesh, watch your mesh. Okay, so let's grab a cube. And let's just scale it down, move it in here, and apply scale. And G, hold control and slap it here. Grab this, go to local. Peachy, GZZ, move it out. GYY. And SXX, there we go. And make it even smaller. And move it somewhere here. And grab this one in GG and move it in. So it kind of sinks in. Control A, apply scale. Let's go to edit mode. Control Alt click. Boom. And let's then chamfer this like that. Okay. Then let's apply bevel. 3 segments. Right click. Sheet smooth. And weighted normal. And auto smooth. Then let's reduce this bevel because insanity. To something like 0.5. Or even less than that, maybe 0.2. There you go. And that's good. Now let's see that. Let's make it smaller. GZZ. Okay. Let me see that. Let's just move it somewhere here, holding control. And then Alt D and hold control. Alt D and hold control. Let's just hide the front rotors. See how convenient it is to have your mesh, you know, split into Alt D into collections. Alt D. And now we're gonna have to start rotating it slowly. Alt D. Rotate it ZZ. And this will do. That's really nice. And then we need to mirror that thing across. So mirror, collapse them. And we're going to mirror across this. Cool. And then we're going to select all these. Before we do that, we need to sort of, you know, to make sure that they GZZ. There we go. GZZ. Okay. Make sure that the distance is more or less the same. It kind of is. This one could be a little bit here. So I'll control and just, you know, Move it here a bit. There you go. Select them all here. Select this one, Control C, and copy modifiers. Boom. And you're good. And this is a really tiny detail, okay? Really tiny. But what it does, okay? It links visually between the gun and the back of the ship. If I put it in here, it would be too cluttered. This is why I left it. I moved it, offset it from these wings, yeah? Because it's just too much stuff over there. Add something here, for example, some kind of, some kind of a mechanism here. I think maybe kind of something coming out to the right from this. I have an idea. Let's grab this one and Shift Z, drop it down here, make it really small, and put it somewhere here. Okay, something like this, and this should be probably somewhere in front. So here, and we could have two of them. So Shift D and one of them here, kind of offset like that, and then GX, move it in. Okay. This one here is not sub D, so we could do technically, we could actually boolean this thing. In fact, we could have 3 in here, now I'm thinking about it. Something like that. And then GX, boom, right? Have something like this here, which is kind of interesting. Circular elements are extremely powerful, so you gotta be careful with these. Let me just enable the rotors. We got a problem with that, so we need to move them to the right, to the left. Sorry. So G, Y, and move it here. G, Z, and move it down. Somewhere here will be fine. And then we need to move them in. So GX, move them in. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We could kind of scale them down a bit, make them a bit smaller. That's pretty awesome. And we could have some kind of parts coming out of them. So Shift I and cylinder, and we don't really need 32, 24 is fine. In fact, how are we doing on Geo? Right click here. If you want to check your memory usage, you can always go here, scene statistics, and we have 1 million polygons. That's a lot. That's due to mostly bevels and the fact that we have a lot of sub D going on. So if you're struggling with this, you shouldn't be, but if you do, you can always turn off subdivision in the viewport, right? So you can go here to sub D, and you can turn off level of sub D in viewport to 0, okay? And this will dramatically drop the poly count, right? So let me just here 0, right? And there you go. It's 860. So it's quite important. To note that if you're gonna drop these and enable them only in rendering, you're gonna be fine. So if you're struggling with your performance, that's all you need to do. Also, I would highly recommend turning off shadows. So if you keep cavity, that's fine, but do not turn on shadows. This is what's messing up performance even of the most powerful machines. I don't know why it's so messed up. Maybe it's fixed in 3.0, I haven't checked it. Quite frankly, I don't want to check it because, I don't care. Now these here, before we start working on that, need to be moved to collection. And this one also going to be in collection, but in a minute. So let's scale it down, really to something small, and, scale it up and apply scale. And let's just right click shade smooth and boom. And it really needs to be small, okay? So something small here. And go here to the side view. Let's just turn off the rotors again. And maybe the gun because it's confusing me. So now we could even hide these, you know, so I can bloody see what I'm doing. So G and move it in here. We're gonna copy it to the other ones, so we don't have to worry about that. Front view and move it somewhere here, make it smaller, or rotate it. And now we can have some fun. So we could, you know, insert that and GZZ, move it a little bit up, and then insert it again, and E extrude it like this. And what we could do here is drop a loop and, you know, grab this face and scale it and create this kind of a, I don't like this one. Go here and maybe scale that. That's a bit better. We could another loop here. Select these and E, cancel with the right mouse button, Alt S. Scale it out as ZZ, scale it. Okay, and we can create some kind of a cut here now. In the back, Control B and E, cancel, Alt S, and move your mouse in, S, ZZ, and boom. We could actually create, here, you know, we could create kind of a, maybe even more of them. Yeah, there you go. Something like this. Cool. And then let's bevel that. And 3 segments, and this is gonna have to be really small. Probably smaller than this. Maybe. We have a clamping on, so it's okay, it's automatic. And then weight and normals. Cool, how are we looking? We're not looking too bad. Maybe this one would be better, like this. We could fatten this out, Alt S, make it fatter. Scale it, rotate it a bit. And something like this, maybe. Oh, it's not bad. This could be some kind of probes or whatnot, you know, and you could just rotate them in different angles. Like this, you know. And this one could be going completely backwards, so I mean. Could be going a little bit down, to be honest, like that. Cool. And let's mirror one of them. So mirror. Let's collapse that, move the mirror above, weight and normals. Copy across the chassis. Select these two. And select that one. Control C and modifiers. And now, you know, I mean, we can apply the mirror. Okay. And apply the mirror here as well. And what we can do now is select this one with L and just, you know, P selection to separate it. Then we can just Shift S and to Geo and, you know, rotate it a bit so it's different, yeah. So, you know, they don't look identical on both sides. See what I mean? This one could be different too. So L, when you're hovering, press LP selection and you know, do something crazy. Shift S to geo, and do something like that. So it's different on both sides, and this could be really going backwards, you know, like this, sort of here. This one too. This is just details that are gonna make a model look a bit more interesting. Here too we can apply the mirror, not copy, apply, and LP selection, Shift S to geo, and rotate it, come on, and rotate it a little bit up here. It's gonna look a bit more interesting, I think. Move it backwards like that. There you go. Some kind of probes or whatnot. Looks pretty dope. This one probably look better if it was facing down, maybe. Like that. Yeah. You know, but these are semantics, yeah? I mean, you know, details. It's a little bit clashing with the wing, I don't like that, so I'm gonna create a bit of a separation here. Maybe a bit of a lesser angle. There we go. There we go, that's better. That's cool, I like that. And let's enable that. Looks cool. And let's Alt H to unhide it. And you know, so when you shoot from the bottom now, you got these beautiful details leading you all over the shape. From the top, it looks very calm. We could use some details on the rotors. You know, remember this sub-deed, so if you want to introduce some details, you need to remember that there's a sub-D running on them. What I would like to do though is maybe let's just grab this one, Shift D and hold Control, snap it here, GZ, and move it up and see if this is gonna be something I want to do. Move it somewhere here and GZ. Right, and then select that, Shift S to select it, and then Shift D, RZZ, and then Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, and Shift R. So we're gonna move it in here. I think it's gonna be interesting, this. And we could move it to the bottom too, Shift D and ZZ, and move it to the bottom. This one should be a little bit higher. Yeah, there you go. And this one should be a little bit lower, GZZ. And this one should be a bit higher, GZZ. Okay. So now with this selected here, this ring, Shift S and 2 selected. So the easiest way to rotate that would be to delete these, select this one, Control P and Object Keep Transform. And then we're gonna select them both and Shift D. And then, you know, R, Z, Z. Then move it somewhere here. And then select them one more time, Shift D, R, Z, Z, and hold Control and stop it here. This one should be a little bit here, I think. There we go. And this is a very subtle detail, but it's pretty cool. Now, let's grab these, okay, and let's mirror them. So mirror across this, and let's grab these and these. And shift select these. And Control C, copy modifiers, boom. So now when you look from the top, you got a bit of an interest going on in here on these rotors. It just, you know, pulls a bit of an attention, and it's really subtle, but all these subtle details, guys, they're gonna make a huge difference, okay? Huge difference. So, last thing I mentioned, remember I wanted to do something in here, so what we could do is grab this, Shift D, P selection, and grab that. We have a bevel weighted normals. Let's add solidification here, and let's run this to the front. So G, gy, let me just individual origins, gy, and move it on y, gz, move it a little bit lower here, gg, gy, move it a bit here, and then ez, and move it up, and then gy, and to the front, and let's just Control plus and gz and drop it down. Okay, and sx to scale it, and gx, move it in here, gx, something like that. Move this solidify above the bevel because Jesus. Increase a bit the solidification, a little bit downwards, yeah, and gx, move it in here. Cool, and then let's mirror this across. Across this shape here. Let's just collapse these modifiers, I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And we're going to mirror that across this shell here. There we go. Cool. So there's a bit more interest here. And what we're gonna do, grab that, grab a cube, and grab this one again, go here to local, grab this cube, go to bottom view, grab this cube here, scale it, okay, G, control click here, and G, and align it, because it's a little bit angled, yeah, so you need to align it. GZZ, drop it down, and then SX, scale it, GX, move it in here, and SY, GY here, and then make sure in the middle. Apply rotation, apply scale, and we can Control Alt click here and create a chamfer like this, and then right click smooth and auto smooth, and then we're gonna go to array and change it on y-axis, so here, and not too many, and then let's just align them on Z here a little bit. Select this one with Shift Control minus. Go to top view, or whichever you want. Go to edit, select this plank here. Go to edit view, press K, C, click here, press A, click here in space, and this should cut through. What that should do, let me see that. Let's move this bull tool below solidification, PG, and then select this one, go to full view, M, and cutters, and see how we're looking. Yeah, see, that's just, that's a bit better. There's a bit more, some kind of event and interest over there going on, which is great. This front's supposed to be really heavily busy, because then you have a lot of calmness, and then you got a bit more, busy stuff here in the back. We could still have something here on this side. So what we could do is add some loops here, okay, and we could select these. And we could Shift D that and add P selection, select that, and modifier solidify. Boom, and solidify it outside a little bit. Okay, just not much, just a little bit, right? And move it above weighted normals. How we're looking? This probably, let me see that. The shading is a bit off. Move it above bevel. There we go. And how we're looking? It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. We could move it a little bit away. So GX, move it a bit away from it, like this. It's gonna be an interesting shape, because it's gonna cast shadow. Yeah, mirror. Move this mirror above weighted normals, and mirror across this one. Okay. Now here, what we could do, technically, go here, and we could select these and select these. Hope we selected all of them, EX, and move it in here a little bit. And then GX, move it a bit more. I don't know, maybe it's too much. Maybe I only need 2 of them. Let me see that. Let me just go to occlude and select all these and this one and delete them. Oh, that's much better. See, sometimes less is more, you know what I mean? That is much better. Cool, cool, cool. Nice. This bottom could be cut as well. So Alt H, and let's just recover cutters. And in this, we could borrow this cutter, right? And run it through here. So Shift D, grab this one, go to local view, and make it smaller. And grab this face here. Where is it? Oh, it's beveled. Okay. So select all that and GY and move it in here, and then select that one, so this one and Control minus, and move this bool above weighted normals. How we doing? And we need to move this boolean above everything. There we go. Now I think the scale is messed up. Apply scale. Let me see that. The bevel is not beveling right now, which is funny. That's interesting. Let's just apply that. Then remove this bevel for a sec. Let's apply a new bevel. And 3 segments. And turn off. Let's go here, turn off clamping. Ah, clamping is a problem. Right. Okay, right click and smooth. And then auto smooth. And then we need to weighted normals below the bevel. There we go. And let's go back and cutters. Not Shift 2, sorry. It's gonna be Shift 7 or something. Just turn them off. So this will create even more interest and kind of a detailing here in the back, focusing in more to the back and more lightness to the structure. Now the last thing we need these elements, the small ones, to be Shift D here, and then Alt P, because you see that there's a parent line here. You see that line? Parent to this object. We need to unparent it. So with this selected, Alt P and clear transformation, and move them here. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do that, but I will try. Let's just remove this mirror. GX, and hopefully you can do that. GX. Maybe it's gonna be easier to just simply, redo that. Let me see that. RY. There we go. GY. Let's just grab these 2 and go to local. Let's try to align them. And we're going to assign it to this one, Control P, and object keep transform. Delete these 2 buggers. And although this one is pretty straightforward, I think this one should work fine. I can see that these are not properly set here, so let's grab this ring here, Shift S, and to select it, and then let's grab both of them and Alt D R and drop it in here, Shift D R, and drop it in here. This one should be, I think, R, hold Control. Yeah, there we go. You don't have to press an axis because here we are in that pen view, 90 degrees orthographic. So we need a mirror here. So mirror and across this. That will not work because it's rotated. So we're gonna mirror across this one. There you go. And all we need to do now is select these. Shift select this one. And Ctrl C copy modifiers. Boom. This would be our model finished, guys. Let's just save it. Let's see how we're looking. Ctrl Alt space. In fact, let's just turn off the screencast keys because we're not gonna need them for now. Turn off this garbage and let's see. So you see now, when you're gonna look at your model, right, you need to make sure that, you know, it really looks good from all the angles, right? That's really important, you know. Doesn't matter what angle we're gonna be looking at, we can always create some really badass, you know, badass renders, right? Like this, you know, like this, flying away. This angle is really cool. Something like this. Back angle is also really interesting. This is really cool. Top angle, you know, no problem. We got something going on. So this is important. This is why when I'm modeling, I'm always looking around to seeing, you know, if things fit from different angles. Let's just turn these off for a sec. Oh, by the way, we need to move these to front rotors. So M front rotors. And also here we need to move these to back rotors. So rear rotors. There we go. And let's grab these and you know, Shift D them here. Make them smaller. Shift S and let's just individual origins and R and move it somewhere here. And then GX. Maybe inside here will be interesting. GZ. That's actually kind of cool, I think. Maybe a bit lower. Something like this. Yeah, that kind of brings it together. I kind of like that. Really nice. Some kind of opening maybe here. So maybe insert that as Z, scale it, and then extrude it and scale it in. Something like this. That's better. Same here actually. We could have something here on the bottom. We could borrow these. Shift D, G and hold Control and slap them here in the back. They need to be rotated a little bit, so just rotate them and move them in here. Shift DX and move this here. And we're gonna assign them to guns. So guns. And this needs to go to the chassis, so main collection. But this already is in main collection. You see these elements here in the bottom, how they pull things together? It's really hard to explain. It's about closing the shape with details and also gathering details in a sort of a confined area. So like here we have a cluster of details. You know, we have a line of details leading us to the back. There's a cluster of details. There's a lot of calmness here. I don't want to add anything on the top, just want to keep it like that. It looks really cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching and I see you in the texturing part.